Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Dhwani for those of you who don't know me, and this is my first YouTube video. And as the name suggests, I love books. So this would be about like books and bookish content, like all the recommendations for beginners especially, and some more book fun. So I'm just gonna introduce myself first. So the first thing you need to know about me is that I love books. I love reading, literally. I mean, obviously you can guess that. And I also love to travel. Like I haven't traveled much, but then I don't know. I just want to explore everything before everything. Yeah. And apart from reading and traveling, I also like to journal. I I want to keep all the feelings and all the stuff I feel or I felt with me. And I don't know. I just regularly do journal and stuff like that. In this channel, I'll post all the bookish content from recommendations to my reviews, and I also have a blog. I post my book reviews there. It's actually new. I've started it, I don't know. I started it about a month ago or something, about a month or two ago. And so I post my reviews there, but I will also review here like my original reviews about how I felt during I read the book and all that. I'll also post some book hauls and all my schedule of what I do and what I don't in a day. All my schedule, you know. So if you have some suggestions for me on what I should do and what I should not, please comment down below. And let's get right into it. I'll introduce you to some of the favorite books. Like I've read them like 5 times, 10 times, I don't know. What I mean to say is that I've read them several of times and I want to share them with you. Obviously you would have heard about all of those before, but I'll just share it with you anyways. So this is my all-time favorite books. It's the After series. It's the first book of the After series by Todd. She actually wrote these books on Wattpad, and like it had billions of reads on Wattpad, and now it's paperback also. The books are adapted into movies, 2 of which have come out. The series actually is a 4-part series. After we collided, after we fell, and after ever happy. Also there's a book before, which actually is after by Harden's point of view. And like this is my absolute favorite series, and this is the first book after. The movies like After We Collided are already released, and the movies aren't as such good as books, obviously, but the second movie After We Collided is amazing. Literally not amazing than the book itself. Otherwise it's really good. Hats off Todd and the directors and the actors, Hero and Josephine. They're actually really good. So about the book, after it's like enemies to lovers, you know what I mean? This girl Tessa, who's really a good girl, no parties, no drinkings, no smoking, nothing. She's really focused on her studying, and she's like planned and all. And it's the first year for college. She goes to college, and she has a really good, cute, sincere boyfriend back home. And then she meets this pierced and tattooed guy, Scott, and he's really hot, to be honest. So yeah, so she meets him and all the fighting begins. They actually, it's from enemies to love, as I said earlier. So in the starting they fight a lot, like a lot actually. They fight a lot every time, man. and cruel to everyone, but then he's extra rude and cruel to Tessa. I don't know. Like, Harden has gone through stuff which I pray nobody goes through. And I don't know, I don't want to give any spoilers. This book also mentions Pride and Prejudice, which is also a favorite of mine. And many classics. Actually, Harden and Tessa are both into classics. It's about the book. It's really amazing. Oh god, how many times have I said that? So yeah, their story continues throughout the book, and at the end of it, Tessa realizes something. I mean, she's confronted with a thing, with something. Oh my god. Originally, this book was written as One Direction fan fiction, and it turned into something more, something Anna didn't expect. She wrote it like on Sundays, I guess. Only Sundays, like a chapter on Sunday. Their biggest obstacles will come from within. They don't trust each other because of Harden's past, because of what happened before he met Tessa, and Harden pushes her away mostly because, I don't know, he never really felt what true love is and all. And so they have difficulties in their relationship which are real, absolutely real. It's really angsty. I don't know. Whenever they fought, Harden and Tessa, whenever they fought, I don't know, something was happening to me as well. You know, internally, I can't even begin to explain it what happened. But oh my god, I couldn't really bear it. But at the same time, it was really, really interesting. But also, it was really angsty. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Next in line is the Harry Potter series. It's heavy. So yeah, it's also cool. I mean, to be honest, I read this series this year, and it's actually embarrassing. But whatever, I loved it. And so obviously you know what Harry Potter is. It's movies. There are 7 books in the series, but 8 movies, and most of you have obviously seen the movies. But to be honest, the books are a lot better, a lot better than the movies, because like, how much content can you put into a movie rather than a 7-hour read books, and some of them are like so heavy and big. Yeah, so yeah, I really love them. It follows Harry, who's the main character, along with Hermione and Ron, and there's 7 years in Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You have to complete 7 years in order to graduate from the school, and like, Harry didn't know in the first book that he was a wizard, and so yeah, he lived with his Muggle uncle and aunt. It's really amazing, and personally recommend it to those who just started reading or who want to start reading for infinite purposes, like for improving their language and vocab or anything like that. Yeah, it's the best series to read. For starters, I actually did a mistake not reading it in the starting. I read the Twilight series when I started with reading. I should have read it. My friend suggested it. Really, I mean, she was right. Next up is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This book has emotional importance to me. I can't say why, but it does. It's a contemporary romance book, and I really love this book too. I read it like, yeah, it's one of the most read books ever. The story follows Hazel Grace and Augustus Waters. Both of them are cancer afflicted teens and they meet at a support group for cancer students through a common friend, Isaac. And this book is giving hope to others. It's about giving hope to those with none, like those who have given up on themselves because of this disease. This is literally heartbreaking. Like, you cry a lot during this book because I don't know, you'll just, I mean, it's really heartbreaking at the end, and whatever happens in between. And the characters in this book, all of them will remain with you long after you've completed this book and you've started another and another. But these characters will stay with you forever, and no matter how many books you've read. I mean, it's really amazing for a fantasy book lover. It's a contemporary romance and I love it really. I mostly love fantasy books, but this is one of the bestsellers and one of the most read books ever, and I just love it. They meet at a support group and the story goes on from there. They spend time together, and there's this book Hazel really loves, but it's incomplete. So Augustus tries to contact the author of the book, and they do, and then they go to Amsterdam. Augustus uses his vision Hazel, and they both, along with their mother, go to Amsterdam and looking for the author of the book that Hazel loves. And Augustus is also curious about the ending, so yeah, they go to Amsterdam and then they meet the author, and it goes not well, I think. I mean, it doesn't really go well when they meet the author. So they spend time in Amsterdam together and they come back, and then the story goes on and on. And I can't really give you the spoilers at the end. I won't actually, it will spoil the whole book. I mean, most of you have already read it because, you know, non-readers read it too. The people who don't like reading books generally have read this book. I don't know why, but yeah, but because it's so good, obviously. And also it has a movie. It was adapted into a movie, and the movie is pretty good too, but the book is obviously better. So next up is the Divergent series. It's like I read it when I started reading the series and I love it. It's sci-fi fantasy, I guess. Yes, it's science fiction, and it's set in like future Chicago. In this series, the society is divided into 5 factions, and they're forced to choose between a faction, and the protagonist, Beatrice Pryor, makes a choice, which actually shocks everyone because she chooses another faction that she wasn't born into. She was actually born into another faction, and then she chooses another, and then once the decisions are made, the new members of that faction are forced to go an initiation, and those who fail remain factionless. Like, the originally the faction she belonged to when she was born are in danger from the faction that she is in now, so it becomes really difficult for her to choose. And I mean, she doesn't even, she tries to help her old faction and all, and then she meets the 4, yeah, like the number 4. Yeah, Tobias Eaton, and the story goes on. Like, he helps her in initiation and all. Tris actually has a deadly secret to keep because people like her are being hunted by another factions also. She can't, trust anyone with this a secret, because it can be dangerous for like both of them. She can't really, and it may destroy the ones that she loves, if the secret's out. I mean, this book literally is really, really good, and the chemistry between the characters is perfect. I mean, Tris and Four, they're perfect together. I really love them. And throughout the books, they're amazing. But the last book is heartbreaking. Really, I cried a lot. And for days, I cried a lot. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of. Yeah, so heads up. Next up is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. It's by the author of Everything Everything. It's really a great book too, but I love this one. It's actually about a couple, contemporary romance. Natasha and Daniel, they're completely different. Daniel is a dreamer, and Natasha, she's she actually is not a fan of fate or destiny. She doesn't believe in all of this shit, and Daniel does. And actually, the events in this book take place in a single day, which I love the most. This was the first book I read, which is like this way, and I really love the concept. So yeah, Natasha, I mean, she lives basically in New York City, and Natasha's family and her are being deported to Jamaica. She was born in Jamaica, and they don't have their like the required documents for their stay, and now they've been caught. So the family is being deported to Jamaica, where she was originally from. And she meets Daniel in a New York street, and Daniel's parents wants him to become a doctor. So he has an interview that day when she meets her, and for Yale University. And when they both meet, they talk, and I don't know what, like, the spark happens and everything happens, and Daniel realizes he doesn't truly want to become a doctor and all. So yeah, but then his interview is postponed 4 hours and all, and they spend more time, and Natasha can't do anything to stay. I mean, she tries a lot, and goes to the embassy and stuff and whatever, and she tries to stay. She wants to. I mean, New York is her home. She's always lived here since she was a child, but now she has to go home, and Daniel doesn't know. He comes to know at the end why Natasha's being so, distant and all. But yeah, at the end, she can't help it, and she has to go. But the day that they spent together, it was enough to fall in love with him, and she falls in love with him, and he does with her. But and at the end of it, Natasha starts believing in destiny and the universe with Daniel, and Daniel starts to believe things that some of these things aren't, worth believing. Natasha's always been based on science and facts. She believes in science and facts only. but after spending the day with Daniel, she learns more, and she starts to believe in the universe and destiny and all of it. It's really a good book, and the characters are really, really good. I've read it twice, and I can't say it's one of my favorites, but yeah, I love this book a lot. I think that's enough for today, because this video is getting really long. But yeah, I'll come up with more my favorite series. Actually, my favorite genre is fantasy, so yeah, there are fantasy series that I love, and I'll share them with you in the next video. Until then, happy reading and bye.